Today, we delve into the art of the restart, how to reframe new beginnings and start to think of yourself as the comeback kid. I'm Sophie Scott. I'm a psychotherapist and an entrepreneur. I founded Balance magazine, but it may surprise you to know that I didn't start out studying psychology or start out studying journalism. In fact, my life has been full of restarts. I started out as an actor before moving into script development and production. And if that hasn't already given you a headache, you don't want to know about the rest of my career or my previous dating history. The point is that I've noticed that life isn't linear, and it's not for myself or my clients. People tend to enter therapy when they're starting again, whether they're grappling with the end of a relationship, a career shift, the death of a loved one, or the death of a dream. And this ties into a wider societal issue, which is that we're living longer, healthier lives, and with that come more evolutions. We know that people are having between 10 to 15 jobs in their lifetime, many with multiple career shifts, starting again in their 40s, 50s and beyond. And people are also settling down later. Relationships are changing. And with that comes more evolutions. When it comes to supporting people to start again in therapy, the work generally involves 3 stages. The first is helping someone to process an ending. The second is gently guiding clients to uncover the hidden wisdom or gift in a situation, and then offering them tools and frameworks so that they can move forward with resilience. So part of my job is helping people to process an ending, and that means giving them the space to grieve what's been lost. We tend to say in therapy that one ending can bring up all previous endings. And so it might be about going back and addressing something significant from the past, helping someone to create rituals for letting go, whether that's writing a letter or creating a piece of art, or indeed doing chair work where they get to have an interaction, an imaginary interaction that somehow completes a cycle for them. And then in time, it becomes about helping to guide clients to perceive a loss as a stepping stone. Perhaps they might discover something that they've learned from the experience, or something that empowers them as they move forward. Or perhaps they've been inspired and have created something from their experience. Failure autopsies can be pivotal. Otherwise, as Freud pointed out, we have a compulsion to repeat, which is when we just do the same thing again and again. But instead, when we come up against life's limitations, we can use that as a time to reevaluate what we might want to do differently in the future. There are twists, turns, detours, and occasional U-turns in life. But sometimes these U-turns are what we need most, a chance to start again. So the loss can be a dysfunction, or it can be a function to move us forwards more authentically, to help us to realign our behavior with our values. I mean, sometimes life forces our hand. We need that person to break up with us or that redundancy to happen. Otherwise, we would just stay stuck. But now we have a chance to rethink our lives. Let me briefly share a few anecdotes from some of my personal role models, like visionary Eckhart Tolle, who after nearly a decade of suffering from clinical depression and anxiety, aged 29 had a breakthrough that led him to writing later The Power of Now, one of the best-selling books of all time. Or Vera Wang, the most famous bridal wear designer in the world, who started her life off in figure skating. And when she failed to make the US Olympics team, she moved into editorial and worked in Vogue for several years. And when she didn't make it to editor, she resigned. And it was when she was 40 years old and she was going to become a bride for the first time, she couldn't find a dress that she wanted. And so she designed her own dress. And that marked the beginning of her new dream. And I must honour the late Christopher Reeve, the original Superman, who after a tragic accident at the height of his fame, reinvented himself as a leading advocate for spinal cord injury research and set up a foundation that raised tens of millions of pounds or dollars. These stories are powerful reminders that our true purpose might unfold in ways that we didn't even envisage. You might like to investigate some of the people that you find inspirational and look into their backstories. I mean, what the people I've just mentioned have demonstrated in bucket loads is resilience. And the good news is that your resilience isn't finite. It can be learned. Thanks to neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to reorganize neural pathways, we can extend and grow our resilience. And there are several ways that I work with clients to help them increase their resilience, from cognitive reframing, using visualization techniques, setting behavioral experiments, practicing mindfulness meditation, and engaging in narrative identity. Narrative identity is a powerful technique, and it involves writing our life story. Because we're meaning-making machines, the stories that we tell ourselves really matter. So what if you considered your life story was a book? Are you able to see the arc? Could you see this restart as simply a chapter or a section in the great narrative of your life? What would you envisage next for your next chapter if you started to see yourself as the comeback kid? Here's the thing. Ultimately, your book, your future is unwritten. As long as you're alive, your story is still being written. So if you're standing on the brink of a significant change, remember it's important to grieve what's been lost. It's okay to feel uncertain. It's normal to not know where to go. But take solace in the knowledge that this struggle, this change, signifies that you're alive, that you're still growing. Nature shows us that everything has its time, everything is cyclical. And so finally, I leave you with this. There is no such thing as a singular comeback. We are in the perpetual state of becoming, which means that authoring our own life story is not a one-time task, but an ongoing process of interpretation and reinterpretation. So here's to the fresh starts that await us, not just in the grand sweep of life's chapters, but in every day, in every new breath.